I've been searching for God for years. Praying, serving, reading, waiting. I've asked for a sign, a whisper, even the faintest hint of His presence. But most days, all I get is silence. And this silence isn't neutral, it's heavy. It fills the night when everyone else is asleep. It lingers at the dinner table while surrounded by family, with the very people who are the closest to me. Yet somehow, I feel alone. It even follows me into church, where others talk about how they actually feel God's presence, while I sit quietly, wondering what that even feels like. Why can't I feel it? Is there something wrong with me? That same question has come up before. I remember one night in particular. The house was dark, everyone asleep. I just sat in the living room, staring at the ceiling, whispering out loud, "God, where are you? If you're real, if you love me, why won't you speak to me?" The only reply was the hum of the refrigerator, and that's when the question I've avoided for years finally surfaced. What if God never answers me? That question doesn't just poke holes in my faith, it cuts deep. Because if there's no answer, no relationship, if heaven stays silent forever, then what am I supposed to do with that? A strange thing is, I already believe in God. I believe He created everything, from the eyes I see with, to everything I see, from what's under my feet to the furthest galaxy. I believe it's all His. I love and respect it all. And yet, I can't seem to get the relationship with Him that would bring it all together for me. It feels like this. My best friend decides to throw a huge party, and he wants me to help make it happen. And it's a big deal. As my friend tells me, many VIPs will be attending. I work to make it perfect, working on decorations, food, entertainment, invitations. I spend days making sure everything is in place, but when the party begins, I'm not even on the guest list, and I'm turned away at the door. That's what this silence feels like. I am not one expecting God to just show up out of nowhere, and I have been fine with working towards Him, but that work has done nothing to bring me closer to Him. The God I seek seems to want no connection with me. When I first began seeking God, I assumed His answer was inevitable. Maybe not quickly, maybe not how I imagined, but at some point, the breakthrough would come. You pray, you wait, you serve, and eventually God speaks. But what happens when you pray for years, serve until you're exhausted, beg for clarity, and still get nothing? It feels like standing in a payphone booth, listening to the phone on the other end ring and ring, waiting for someone who never picks up. And yet you stay, because maybe this time they will. And I know I'm not the first to feel this. Job sat in ashes wondering why God had abandoned him. David cried out, "How long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever?" Habakkuk prayed and prayed, but heard nothing back. So the silence isn't new. Maybe it's part of the story. And here's the thought I can't shake. Maybe the silence itself is an answer. Maybe it's not absence, but a kind of presence I just don't recognize. Maybe the silence presses me with a harder question. If God never speaks to me in the way I long for, will I still live like He's real? That's not the answer I wanted, but maybe it's the one I've got. Or maybe the problem isn't that God is silent. Maybe I've only been listening for one kind of voice. I've expected a burning bush, a voice in the night, a sign I couldn't miss. But what if His answers have been there all along, just in ways I've overlooked? In the laughter of my kids, reminding me that joy is possible even when I'm confused. In the quiet beauty of a sunrise, declaring hope without a single word. Even in the ache of longing itself, proof my heart still believes there must be more. C.S. Lewis once said, "Creatures aren't born with desires unless satisfaction for those desires exists. Babies get hungry, there is food. Ducks want to swim, there is water." So if I find in myself a longing nothing in this world can satisfy, maybe that's evidence God is real, even if he never answers directly. Even with that thought, the silence still stings. It feels like a wound. So how do you live when the answer never comes? Life doesn't pause just because heaven feels quiet. Bills still show up. Kids still need bedtime stories. Relationships still need work. And my heart still beats with questions I can't silence. So maybe the way forward is refusing to let silence paralyze me. Maybe it's small acts of faithfulness, loving people even when I don't feel loved back, creating beauty, art, writing, music, not because it solves the silence, but because it pushes back against emptiness. Serving others not to earn God's voice, but because their need is real, even when my prayers feel ignored. Some days it feels like building a house with no blueprint. One brick at a time, not knowing what the finished home will look like. But years later, maybe I'll step back and see something meaningful after all. And here's the hardest question of all. Do I need to let go? Not of God, not of faith, but of the picture I've been clinging to. The expectation that God must show up in a certain way, on my timetable, with the intimacy I imagined. Maybe holding that picture so tightly has only chained me to disappointment. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing control. It means admitting I don't dictate how God works. That's terrifying. It feels like stepping off a cliff, but maybe that's the heart of faith. Not certainty, but trust in uncertainty. So here I am, still searching, still waiting, still carrying the silence. What if God never answers? Then I still have to decide how to live. Do I need a new search? Yes, one that doesn't limit God to my expectations. How do I live without God's answer? By living anyway, loving, creating, serving, refusing to quit. And do I need to let go? I think so, because in reality, I don't know if God will ever break the silence. But I do know this. The search itself has shaped me. The questions have carved me. And maybe that's the answer I've been given. Time for a prayer. God, I don't always understand your silence. I don't know what to do with the longing that feels unanswered. But give me courage. Courage to keep searching. Courage to live fully. And courage to let go when I need to. If you are there, meet me in ways I don't yet recognize. And if you stay silent, help me not to waste the life I've been given. Amen. If you're enjoying following my search for God, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons so I can continue to provide you more details of my journey. Thank you.